So, in this lecture, we're going to be talking about the power of one. I'm pretty sure that most of you, when you read the title, you didn't really understand what it means, but you're going to understand in a second. I want to emphasize the reason why I used the power of one is because I want you to know that this one thing is very powerful when it comes to time management and managing your schedule generally. Just putting all the tasks that you have to do. This one thing is very important. Without any further ado, we'll get to it. So, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and most of you guys and all of you, you know that every single time you want to start something, it always begins with the first step. Okay, once you take the first step and you see the second step in front of you, it's way easier. Okay, every single thing started with the first step. As soon as you take this first step, you're on the right track. You're started. You're getting somewhere. Even if you stopped, you go back to it. Okay, most probably you won't be starting from step number one, right? The power of one is the power of one step, taking it one step at a time, step by step. Always focus on one step at a time. And I'm going to repeat it. Focus on one step at a time. Jumping steps is never a good thing. If you overwhelm yourself with all the actions you should take, you'll get yourself stuck not knowing what to do next. If you are thinking about how you're going to jump 10 steps at once, you're going to be so overwhelmed that most probably you'll feel that it's so hard and you can't accomplish it. But if you worked step by step, it would have been really different. It's like a stairs. Imagine yourself walking up the stairs, okay? And you want to get to the 10th floor. And if you want to go up there 15 steps at a time, you're not going to be able to go up there because you can't even take the 15 first steps. It doesn't matter how big of a goal you have, take it one step at a time. Every step you reach, you'll be able to see the next one clearer. Big goals need to be divided into different steps to make it easier to attain the goal. And this is directly linked to the law of three, because when we talked about the law of three, we talked about putting the three most important tasks related to a certain goal that you have on your general to-do list. And then we said you need to divide them and basically rank them from the most important to the least important, but they are all important, the three most important tasks, right? So when you're doing that, and I remember an example where we said if you have a logo, if you have a company that's first starting and you need to make it a logo and a website and a portfolio. Let's talk about jumping steps here. We said you want to put the portfolio on the website, but if you don't have a logo, you need a logo on the website. If you don't have a logo, you can't finalize the website. And if you can't finalize and finish the website, you can't even make a portfolio because, well, you'll have nowhere to put the portfolio, right? So you look at it. If I jump 3 steps at a time, I can't do it. There's nothing you can do. If you don't have a website, you can't put the portfolio. So that's exactly why you need to take it step by step. Okay? Always reflect that to the law of three because it's directly linked to it. But the difference is right here is to not just use it with the law of three, but to also know that in each and every goals, let's say building a website is one goal, one of these 3 important goals, but inside this, there are different things that you need to do as well, right? So, one of the first things is to upload the logo on the website, let's say, okay? The different steps that you have is to have a homepage, to have a contact us, and about us page. All these different pages, they are steps, right? And you can't do 4 pages at a time, right? You need to do each page by itself. If you think about building the 4 pages all at once, you're gonna screw it up. Because you're not going one step at a time. But if you say I'm going to make the homepage, and then based on the design of the homepage, I'll be able to figure the About Us section, and then based on the About Us section, I'll be able to put some information in the Contact Us page and be able to finalize the Contact Us page, then you'll be working step by step in order for you to reach whatever the goal is or whatever the task is to finish it, right? So a couple examples here. If you are to lose weight, if you want to lose weight, okay, you can't expect to lose 10 pounds in one night and then be disappointed the next day that you did not lose 10 pounds, right? Because eventually it's a series of steps. And if you want to spend 12 hours that day in the gym for you to lose 10 pounds, and then you realize that, oh, I didn't lose 10 pounds, well, of course, because you jumped a lot of steps, and this is not how it works. You need to focus on losing weight every day and know that each and every day you're taking one step because you're losing a little bit of weight. And day after day, you'll see yourself approaching your goal, and this is what you need. So second example, if you start a marketing campaign, focus on creating a marketing plan. Because if you want to start, let's say you want to start a marketing campaign and sell stuff that you have an e-commerce store, for example, and you want to promote something with a marketing campaign. If you want to make a marketing campaign but you have no idea what the marketing plan is, and you just put something random, well, you're not going to get any sales. This is a step that you skipped. You can't go to launch a marketing campaign if you don't have a marketing plan. So the first step is to make a marketing plan. In order for you to make a marketing plan, the thing that you need to do even before is to know what goals you're aiming for. Based on that, you need to do a marketing plan. Based on that, you do the marketing campaign, and then you'll be able to see the results. Okay? So when you manage your time in a way where you see all the steps that you need to take, you'll be able to break down large tasks into different steps. You'll be able to spend maybe less time on certain steps, but you'll be able to be more productive, and eventually you'll definitely take less time completing the main goal than you would have completed if you just spent the entire time focusing on jumping the 10 steps all at once instead of taking one step at a time. And I know taking it step by step can be frustrating sometimes. That's why I want to talk about something called the domino effect. A cumulative effect produced when one event initiates a succession of similar events. We talked before, we mentioned the quote, "The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step." This one step is the first domino that dropped on all the dominoes that are going all the way for you to reach your goal. And the domino effect, what it basically is, there's going to be an illustration inside the course that you guys need to take a look at. But basically, the first one drops. The second one is double its size. So when the first one falls on the second one, even though it's double its size, it makes it fall. Now the third one is double the size of the second one, right? So it's 4 times the size of the first one. But because the second one is heavier than the first one, it'll be able to drop this. And then the fourth one is 2 times heavier than the third one, which means it's 8 times heavier than the first one. But the third one drops it because of the effect that the first domino, the small domino, did. Okay? So, this effect, eventually, all the steps that you take, the more steps you take, the closer you get to your goal, and the more steps you take, you'll be able to tackle bigger goals and bigger projects and bigger tasks than you did at first. So knowing that, jumping steps will not only set you up to fail, but it might even screw up the domino effect that you're building. Because if you drop the dominoes from the 10th domino right away, it's going to be good and you can carry on. But don't forget that the impact that's coming from the 9 dominoes before it would have increased the amount of energy that the 10th one had when it hit the 11th one, right? And when you want to reflect that on your own personal goals, what would happen is when you separate the steps, as we said before, your time is more efficient. You'll be able to spend less time producing better results. And that's why when you get to the 10th domino or you get to the 10th step, you're way more equipped and you're way better in terms of your schedule and the quality of the work and the time that you spent, that you can even take bigger and bigger steps and keep growing on a consistent basis. So going back to the law of three, and its relationship with the domino effect and this lecture is, even when you have the three most important tasks that you need to work on, some of these tasks might be huge. Building a website is huge, right? So then you need to know what steps you need to take step by step in order for you to finish this task that you have, right? Which is finishing the website. But if you just put right away on one day you want to finish a website, maybe it takes way more than that because there are many different steps, okay? You need to realize what's going on. You need to realize your steps, and you need to plan ahead and know what the next step is. So as soon as you finish this step and you knew exactly what you need to do, you move to the next step even knowing even more what you need to do because you're already getting familiar with the system from the first task, right? You see the design of the homepage, you'll be able to know how the About Us section is going to look like. You start a diet, and let's say you wanna cut out the salt. If you go cold turkey and you stop eating salt at all, you're gonna feel a huge difference. You're gonna feel like food is not the same. But if, let's say, on a span of 1 week, on a span of 1 month, you start reducing the amount of sugar bit by bit by bit. 15 days in, the amount of salt in your food would be less, and you'll be adjusting to it bit by bit because there's not much of a difference between each and every day. And you get to the last day of the month and you really don't feel that huge effect like you would have felt if you went cold turkey right away. Why? Because you were taking it step by step. Of course, this particular example has nothing to do with time management itself, but for you to understand that time management is also good planning, and good planning is breaking down the tasks into different steps.